I asked 127 women over 50 one question. When's the last time you saw a genuinely muscular man over 60? 73% couldn't remember. And if you're anywhere between 50 and 75, that's your competition. Or should I say, lack of it. Before we jump in, tell me where you're watching from in the comments below. I want to know where all the guys serious about this are hiding. Look, here's what nobody's saying out loud. Muscular men over 60 have practically gone extinct, like snow leopards or common sense. And that scarcity, it's creating the most unfair advantage and attraction that exists right now for older guys. Because when you're the only one in the room who's actually built, and you will be, every single rule changes. The thing is, most men have no clue this is even happening. Why so few men over 60 are muscular, and why it matters. So let's talk about why the muscle disappeared, what women actually think when they see it, and why you've got a bigger opportunity than you realize if you're willing to do what almost nobody else is doing. Number 1, the vanishing act. So let's start with the obvious question. Where the hell did they all go? Because I'm telling you, it wasn't always like this. Go look at photos from the 70s and 80s. Guys in their 60s were still working construction, hauling lumber, fixing cars with their bare hands. They weren't big, but they had muscle, real, functional strength. Now, it's like they've all collectively decided to disappear from the weight room. And here's what's wild. Most people blame biology. Testosterone drops, metabolism slows, recovery takes longer. All true. But you know what? That explains maybe half of it. Maybe. The rest? It's a choice. And I don't mean that harshly, I mean it literally. Somewhere between 55 and 65, most men just stop. They stop lifting, stop pushing, stop caring about their physical presence in the world. I see it everywhere. The guy who used to play rugby now spends his weekends on the couch. The former Marine who could do 50 push-ups without breaking a sweat can barely get up from a low chair without grunting. And it's not because their bodies gave out. It's because they bought into this story that once you hit 60, you're supposed to act your age. What does that even mean? Act your age. Like, there's some handbook that says once you collect your pension, you're supposed to let everything go soft. It's insane. Here's what I've noticed as a woman watching this happen. It's not just the muscle that disappears. It's the presence, the way a man carries himself, the energy he brings into a room. That all starts to fade. And it's not Father Time doing it. It's resignation. But here's where it gets interesting, and honestly, kind of unfair. Because while most men are checking out, the handful who don't, they're not just staying in shape. They're entering a category so rare, they might as well be unicorns in suits. And that's what we need to talk about next. Number 2, the real culprits. So if it's not just biology doing this, what is it? Let me tell you what I think is really happening. And this might sting a little, but stick with me. First culprit, the retirement mindset. You work for 40 years, maybe more, and somewhere in your brain, a switch flips. I've earned the right to relax. And yeah, you have. But here's the thing. Relaxation turned into resignation. You're not taking a break, you're throwing in the towel. I've watched this play out with guys I know. They retire and within 6 months, they've gained 20 pounds. They stop going to the gym because what's the point? The point? The point is you've still got 20, 30, maybe 40 years left. You gonna spend all of it melting into your recliner? Second culprit. And this one's huge. Your social circle normalizes the decline. Your buddies are all getting softer, slower, weaker. So when you start slipping too, nobody says anything. In fact, they'll encourage it. Come on, have another beer. We're not 20 anymore. It becomes this weird badge of honor to just give up together. Misery loves company. And mediocrity? Mediocrity thrives in groups. Here's a stat that shocked me. Less than 15% of men over 60 do any resistance training at all. Not bodybuilding, not powerlifting, just any kind of strength work. 15%. That means 85% have completely abandoned the one thing that keeps you strong, mobile, and frankly, alive. Third culprit, the myths. I'll hurt myself. Muscle building is for young guys. It's vain at my age. Let me be blunt. Those are excuses dressed up as wisdom. You know what's actually dangerous? Losing so much muscle that you can't catch yourself when you trip, that you can't lift your grandkid, that you need help opening a jar. That's dangerous. And the vanity thing, please. Taking care of your body isn't vain, it's self-respect. Big difference. But here's what I really want you to understand. And this is where most guys completely miss the plot. It's not just about having muscle. It's about what that muscle signals, and what women pick up on when they see it. That's a whole different conversation. Let's go there next. Number 3, what women actually notice. Okay, real talk. Let me tell you what's actually going through a woman's head when she sees a man over 60 with real muscle. It's not what you think. First thing, it's visceral. There's this immediate reaction, almost primal, that says he's alive. Not just breathing, not just existing, actually living. Because muscle at that age doesn't whisper, it shouts that you haven't given up, that you're still in the game. And here's what most guys don't get. We're not looking at your biceps thinking, oh, nice arms. We're reading the whole picture. The way you move, how you carry yourself, the energy you bring into a room. Muscle is just the visible proof of something deeper. Discipline, self-respect, vitality. It signals you still care about yourself, about how you show up in the world. And if you care about that, chances are you care about other things too. Your relationships, your purpose, your life. Compare that to the guy who's let everything slide. Soft belly hanging over his belt, shuffling instead of walking, complaining about his back, his knees, his energy. What does that signal? I'm done. I'm just waiting for the clock to run out. Harsh? Maybe. True? Absolutely. Now here's the trap most men fall into. They think it's about aesthetics, like they need to look like a bodybuilder or fitness model. Wrong. Dead wrong. What women respond to isn't size, it's structure. It's presence. A man who fills out a shirt properly, who has shoulders that suggest strength, who moves with confidence because his body actually works the way it's supposed to. I'll tell you a quick story. Last year, I watched a woman, she's probably mid-50s, completely light up when this guy walked into a coffee shop. He wasn't huge, wasn't shredded, but he had that look, solid, strong, present. And when he smiled at her, she didn't just smile back, she sat up straighter. That's the effect we're talking about. It's not vanity, it's not shallow. It's biology mixed with psychology, and it's more powerful than most guys realize. But here's where it gets controversial, because the type of muscle you build, that matters more than you think. And most men are doing it wrong. Number 4, the quality over quantity truth. All right, here's the thing most fitness guys won't tell you, because honestly, it doesn't sell supplements or training programs. You don't need to be big. You need to be defined. There's a massive difference. And at 60, 65, 70, that difference becomes everything. See, when guys think about building muscle, they picture bodybuilders, massive arms, huge chests, that whole look. But here's what I've observed, and I'm being brutally honest with you. Women over 40 aren't drawn to that. It reads as trying too hard, like you're compensating for something. What we are drawn to, a man who looks like he can handle himself, who's got structure, whose shoulders fill out a jacket, who's got visible forearm definition when he rolls up his sleeves. That's it. That's the sweet spot. It's not about the gym muscle, it's about functional presence. Can you move furniture without calling for help? Can you pick up your grandkid without your back giving out? Do you walk into a room and people instinctively make space because you carry yourself with quiet strength? That's what muscle gives you at this age, not Instagram likes. Real-world respect. Here's something I don't talk about often. My uncle, he's 68 now, spent his whole life as this kind of soft, gentle guy. Sweet man, but invisible, you know? Then about 4 years ago, something clicked. Started lifting 3 times a week. Nothing crazy, just consistent. The physical change was noticeable. But what really shifted? The way he moved. He stopped apologizing for taking up space, stopped second-guessing himself, started making eye contact. It wasn't the muscle, it was the confidence the muscle gave him. And people responded. His wife started touching his arm more. Strangers struck up conversations. He got seen again. That's the part nobody talks about, the feedback loop. Muscle builds confidence. Confidence changes how you show up. How you show up changes how people respond to you. And that response, it reinforces everything. You don't need to bench press 300 pounds. You need enough muscle that when you walk into a room, you feel like you belong there. And everyone else feels it too. But here's what makes this even more powerful, and why timing matters more than you think. Number 5, the opportunity hiding in plain sight. So let's bring this full circle, because here's what you need to understand, and I mean really understand. Right now, at this exact moment, you've got an opportunity that might not exist in 10 years. Hell, maybe not even 5. Why? Because the fitness industry is finally waking up to older guys. More content, more programs, more men realizing they don't have to fade away. Which means the window where you can be one of the rare ones, it's closing. But right now, you're essentially competing in an empty arena. Remember that stat, 85% of men over 60 don't do any strength training. That means if you just show up, if you lift 3 times a week, eat enough protein, and stay consistent, you're automatically in the top 15%. You're not fighting for scraps, you're in elite territory by default. Now I know what some of you are thinking. I'm 67, too late to start. My joints are shot. I don't want to get hurt. Listen to me. Those aren't reasons, they're excuses dressed up in logic. And I get it. Fear is real. But you know what's scarier? Being 75 and realizing you had time. You had the chance. And you let it slip through your fingers. You don't need to go heavy. You don't need to train like you're 25. But you do need to start. Because every month you wait, you lose a little more ground. And at some point, and this is the hard truth, it becomes too late. Not because your body can't do it, but because you've convinced yourself you can't. Here's what building muscle after 60 actually gives you. Presence, confidence, respect, the ability to walk into any room and feel like you belong. Not because you're the biggest guy there, but because you're vital, alive, still in the fight. And women notice. Trust me, we notice. So yeah, it's gonna take effort. It's gonna require consistency. Some days you won't feel like showing up. But here's the kicker. You've already done harder things. You've built careers, raised families, survived loss, setbacks, all of it. This is just deciding you're not done yet. And honestly, that decision changes everything. Look, remember what I said at the beginning? Muscular men over 60 have practically vanished. And yeah, that's a problem for society. But for you, it's an opening. I'm not saying you need to become a bodybuilder. I'm not saying muscle is the only thing that matters. But I am saying this. The decision to stay strong, to stay present, that's one of the most powerful choices you can make at this stage of life. Because it's not really about the muscle. Never was. It's about refusing to fade. It's about showing up every single day and saying, I'm not done yet. If this resonated, hit subscribe. I make content specifically for men who refuse to coast into irrelevance, who want the real female perspective, not the filtered BS. And drop a comment. Are you building muscle after 50? What's holding you back? Let's talk. You've got more time than you think, but you don't have forever. The question is, what are you going to do with it?